This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the New Media Production Studio. In tonight's show, Wally Funk to join Jeff Bezos on the first manned Blue Origin flight. You can watch a flying car prototype. Florida social media law just gets absolutely destroyed. And the FTC held their first open meeting in 20 years. Those stories and more. I want to welcome you to episode 1537 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, July 1st. And welcome to July. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. A warm welcome to new listeners. We want to make sure that you take time and get over to geeknewscentral.com, visit the website, get subscribed to the show, get subscribed to the newsletter. That's how you join the family. That's the best way to stay informed of what's going on with the show. Head over there now at geeknewscentral.com. For those of you watching us live, thanks for being here. And, of course, make sure you follow or subscribe to the show as well. You can join our chat room at geeknews.chat or our Discord channel. Geeknews.chat is a Mastodon chat server. We've also got the Slack channel still available if you want to join. There's also really the best way to reach the show is very, very simple. All you have to do is email me directly, geeknews@gmail.com, or follow me on Twitter at geeknews. Of course, I'm on Facebook as well. Partner shows are all linked at geeknewscentral.com. And yes, this show is supported by the longest running continuous sponsor of podcasts. That's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. You can save lots of money. And I've got codes. I got savings codes. I got coupon codes. I got everything you need to do to get online, get started, save cash. I'm the absolute best deal in the internet. I can get you $1 a month economy hosting. $1 a month for the first year, which includes a free domain name, or I can get you $1 a month managed WordPress hosting again for the first year. $12 includes a free domain. So it is time. It is time. You need a break from the heat. You're going to have a little extra time or the 4th of July weekend. For those of you in the United States, it's time. It's time to make yourself a website, e-commerce site, a podcast site, blog site, family site, you name it, so that you can be ready in case, just in case, we get locked down again. We want you to have the ability to earn an income or have at least, if nothing else, something extra to do. 30% off a new product purchase as well at $4.99.com for those of you new GoDaddy customers on transfers. Again, this is new or a transfer for new customers only, and a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, or Business Plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. But again, this hosting plans, $12. Come on, you know that's going to be less than 2 trips to Starbucks. That's probably 1 trip for a fast food outage. That's probably about the same amount of money you would spend on 1 pizza. So for $12, you can change your life. Become a podcaster. Get a GoDaddy account. Get a GoDaddy website. Get set up on me. I'm setting you up here for success. And I'll even throw in 30 days of podcast hosting as well. But that's a whole different conversation. So we want to thank all of you for your ongoing support at GoDaddy. Again, you save big money. And you're supporting the show. You're supporting me, keeping the lights on, keep the insurance paid, all this stuff. And believe me, I've been using some AC here the last few days. So the electricity bill is going to be a little bit up. So we hope that you'll do that. And every time you recommend my promo codes to a friend, family member, someone that you know, it's just like writing me a check. When you share one of my promo codes and someone uses it, again, it's just like writing a check to the show. And I greatly appreciate when you do that. So what's happening here? Let me catch you up. Of course, studio designed by Automute.com. I want to thank the team over there, Kevin. We've been referring a bunch of people. And again, if you're ever looking for some sound design, sound quieting, I guess I don't know if that's even the right word to say. But if you're looking to really make a space yours and not be full of echo, talk to my friends over at Automute.com. Talk to Kevin. All right, what's going on? Well, today was a big day. Matter of fact, I was up to just about midnight last night getting the podcast awards launched. Our partner, our technology partner, One Technologist, was right there with me doing a transition of the website, getting the everything up, make sure everything looked good. We sometimes we do make last minute tweaks, but the response so far, I'm pretty pleased from everything that's happened so far, and the expansion of the words this year has, I think, is going to do us well. So anyway, go over to podcastwords.com and vote for your favorite show. Now, if your favorite show, of course, this show is not there, I can't participate. That's not legal because who owns a podcast award? Well, I do. So go over there. My back itches. We'll talk about that in a second here for those of you watching. Go over there and vote. Vote for your favorite shows. You got all month of July. You don't have to do it in one sitting. Go through and pick the best shows. And another chance you're going to have to do is to enter the name of the podcaster that's influenced you the most. So as a listener, the People's Choice Podcast Awards is for you. And I want you to go over there to podcastawards.com and make sure you vote for the favorite shows. And if you don't see a show that's a favorite show of yours, go tell them to come over and register. It's not too late. Have been burning the candle here. Obviously, tell you what's kind of going on. So it's probably been 6 weeks ago. I don't know if I got exposed to something, if I got bit. We haven't been able to figure it out, and neither has a doctor. 2 doctors haven't been able to figure this out. So I started waking up in the mornings and itching. And, one would think immediately, okay, is there bed bugs? Are there fleas? Are there chiggers? A whole litany of things because I was getting red dots on my skin. And it wasn't shingles, because shingles explodes kind of in big patches. These were just dots, sometimes in a row, which would have made sense that there was a bed bug issue. And so did everything you do when you're looking for this stuff. And I inspected the mattress, the bed, under the bed, around the legs. We set up cups under the legs to see if I'd catch anything. It was actually, trying to resolve everything. And I told you I thought it might be the cats, and it was just on and on and on. And no conclusion. And one doctor put me on steroids. Another one gave me a couple of antihistamines. Long story short, 6 weeks later, I don't say it's as bad, but I wake up, and it's waking me up earlier than I normally wake up. And I just have this uncontrollable urge to scratch my back, my leg. And just now, you guys saw me scratching the back of my back. It's to the point of driving me crazy. Now, what I found, a routine to kind of get relief, is I get up, I take my prescription meds right away, including the 2 antihistamines they're having me take, and I get in the shower. And I run the shower hot, and probably take a 15-minute shower, and that seems to subside things. And then I do an anti-itch lotion on basically my torso, as much as I can get to my back, top of my legs, basically around the base of my butt, and like a little bit like halfway down my calves. And I'm typically good pretty much the rest of the day. But like today, I can just feel it. I want to reach back there and gnaw a little bit. Have not been able to figure it out. And I only think there was hives twice, which made them think it was an allergy reaction. But I've tried changing up everything. So the day before yesterday, I went extreme. Okay, so if it's in the morning, I'm having these big issues, what do you do? So I bombed the loft. I went hardcore. gutted every piece of linen, every pillow, everything, and washed, extended dryer use, everything. Because this, what do you to do, right? And bombed the loft. And again, I've not seen anything. I'm not seeing a flea, not seeing anything that would indicate something was biting me. And went through all this. And I actually went so far as to encase my mattress in a bag, a sealable bag. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But everyone's at a loss. And it's either an allergy or something else. And that something else is what? So have any of you run into anything like this? I always kind of laughed. I could probably drink gasoline. Now, I'm just joking here, folks. I could probably drink gasoline and never have a problem. But it's got me baffled. And it basically, I think when they gave me the steroids, it helped a little bit. But it just hasn't resolved. And I'm still, and I don't know if I'm getting the red dots from scratching. I might be inducing that myself. I don't know. But anyway, anyone have a problem like that? The doctors don't know, so maybe you guys do. So I know, weird thing to ask on the show. I share a lot on the show. I thought I'd share that. But, it's just, it's bizarre. It really, really is. And I don't have any marks on my arms I could show you guys easily on the podcast that's watching live, but just beyond me on what it is. And I guess I'm just going to have to start now. If this doesn't, next 2 or 3 days, things don't improve. If the bombing didn't get whatever I couldn't see, because I never saw, we killed a bunch of dead flies. I saw dead flies last night. But going to have to start cutting out, specific foods and stuff, and see if I find a difference. But send me your thoughts, geeknews@gmail.com. So my sister's family is in Manhattan. My sister's daughter is going to be going to school. They're moving her into a apartment there. My brother-in-law and his son drove in a U-Haul, full U-Haul, all the way to Manhattan. I didn't envy him. They unloaded this morning, so they'll be there for a week. So it's just my mom and I here holding the fort down until the middle of next week. And hope all of you have a good 4th of July holiday. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you be safe. Of course, those of you outside the United States, sorry, I know it's not your holiday, but it's a big one here. And I'm sure I'm going to find some time to do some barbecue, and not barbecue, but maybe some burgers and stuff on the grill, and maybe a few cold ones. But anyway, you guys have heard my itching story. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Yes, you didn't know that you would become my medical advice, right? And I'm sure I'm going to hear 25, and bring them. 25 ideas is good because everyone else is at a loss at this point. And but maybe the antihistamines in the morning are helping. And I'm taking one at night too, a Benadryl at night. So maybe, that's keeping the rest of it at bay. Maybe it's purely an allergic thing to something that I haven't, as the doctor said, it's going to be something you love that you have become allergic to. But I don't know. All right, let's move into the tech. The Federal Trade Commission expands antitrust powers in Chair Lina Khan's first open proceeding. The first open business meeting the FTC Commission in more than 20 years happened. In the meeting today, they passed a pair of pivotal measures expanding the power of the FTC to regulate anti-competitive business practices, setting the stage for a more aggressive enforcement approach for the embattled agency. How can they set their own rules? Thursday's proceedings is the first open business meeting of the commission in more than 20 years, as commission proceedings have traditionally been closed to public. Chair Lina Khan plans to hold public meetings on a monthly basis going forward. The meeting paved the way for an aggressive, again, antitrust approach from the agency. So in a most aggressive effort, the commission voted to rescind the 2015 statement enforcement principles that restricted the FTC's act prescriptions on unfair methods of competition to explicit violations of existing antitrust law, specifically the Sherman and Clayton Acts, the vote proceeds along party lines, passing 3-2 with Democrats in the majority. So I guess they got someone in there. Okay. In practice, the 2015 statement has doubled down on the agency's longstanding failure to investigate and pursue unfair methods of competition. Without the restriction, the FTC will be free to pursue lawsuits against misconduct that might not violate classical antitrust laws. The commission still considered whether to replace the statement with a blanket guidance or an array of more specific rulemaking against particular practices. So we will see where this goes. And in another vote, the FTC moved to simplify the rulemaking process by prohibiting unfair, deceptive acts or practices. The changes are broadly procedural, lifting a number of self-imposed bureaucratic restrictions on the commission, allowing it to respond more efficiently to perceived misconduct. They say we want to send a signal that the FTC is ready to take on the challenge of a modern economy. I hope with these streamlined procedures, we can tackle cutting-edge issues, which means going after big businesses in a big way. And a big major ruling today, a judge blocks Florida's law calling an example of burning the house to roast a pig. A judge has teared Florida's social media law to shreds for violating the First Amendment. Basically, this social media law, according to the judge, violates the First Amendment rights of tech companies that moderate user content on their online platforms. The state law would have made it illegal for large social media sites like Facebook and Twitter to ban politicians and impose other restrictions on the tech companies, but the judge order means it cannot be enforced while an industry lawsuit against Florida is pending. The law would have taken effect today if not for the injunction. This preliminary injunction order issued by the U.S. District Judge Robert Hinkle yesterday called Florida's law an instance of burning the house to roast a pig. So, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is widely popular in the state, claimed that the Sunshine State's law would stop the censorship of conservatives on social media websites. The law's prohibition on kicking politicians off social media platforms will impose a fine up to $250K a day. The law also said that online platforms may not take any action to censor or deplatform or shadow ban a journalist enterprise based on the content of its publication or broadcast. So, we know that the law carved out an unusual exemption for tech companies that happen to also own large theme parks, so protecting certain players in Florida like Disney and Comcast. So anyway, lots to say on that. It's all in the article. Link will be up in the show notes. There is a... Oh, Richard, thanks for saying nope. Appreciate it. There is a flying car. We've heard about these kind of stunts from time to time, but you can watch the flying car prototype that flew for 35 minutes. Stefan Klein's air car invention made it from Nitra to Bratislava, Slovakia. It completed a 35-minute flight. This was the air car's 142nd landing. It's all on YouTube. You can watch it. You can watch the takeoff. You can watch the landing. Chase plane. And amazingly, there are about 40,000 orders of the aircraft in the United States alone. If we convert 5% of those to change the aircraft for the flying car, we have a huge market. Anton Zajic, an investor of Klein Vision, the company behind the air car, told the BBC. The air car can hold a maximum of 2 people. You can't be very fat because you can only have a total weight of 440 pounds, and its highest flying speed is 118 miles per hour. Unlike other flying car prototypes, air car isn't able to take off or land vertically. It requires a runway just like a plane. It took 2 years to produce and just under $2 million. Morgan Stanley predicts, that's investment people, the flying car sector could be worth $1.5 trillion by 2040. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of weird to see it flying. I wonder if it has a parachute as well. Because if you run out of gas, there's no excuse because you're going to crash. I made that up on the fly. Don't you love that? All right, this is interesting. I be honest with you, was not aware of who she is. But aeronautics pioneer Wally Funk to join Jeff Bezos on first crewed Blue Origin flight. Funk was a member of the Mercury 13 group of women who underwent the same testing as NASA astronauts but never went to space. So I must have missed that story somewhere. But a half a century after passing all the tests to become a NASA astronaut, 82-year-old pilot and aeronautical pioneer Mary Wallace, yes, that's her first real name is Mary Wallace, or called Wally is her nickname, Funk is finally going to space. But instead of launching in a NASA Mercury project capsule, as she aspired to do in the 1960s, she'll ride alongside an Amazon and Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos on the first crewed flight of a Blue Origin New Shepard rocket. I think this is absolutely wonderful. It is. You have these pioneers, these women that did all the work, and because of the time in our history, never got the opportunity to fly like this. So I think this is awesome, and congratulations to picking Wally to go along. I think this is a perfect partner. I think it's I'm pleased with this. It makes you feel good, doesn't it? Doesn't this story just make you feel good? 82, and she gets to go to space. 82. Thumbs up to Blue Origin for doing this. I like it. So let's just make sure you get them up there safe and bring them back safe. That's all. Moving on here, Sony camera-centric Xperia 1 III is to ship on August 19th for $12.99. That's a lot of money. So this flagship phone, the new photography focused phone, is designed as a complement to the Sony Alpha camera range, and it induces a variable periscope-style telephoto lens. Is also equipped with just about everything you expect from a flagship Android phone, including a Snapdragon 888 processor, 5G, and a 6.5-inch display with a whopping 120 hertz refresh rate. And Sony isn't backing off by pricing this one, and it's basically it's putting an extra $100 on it. So we'll see if it sounds appealing, but $1,300 doesn't. The Xperia 5 III is a smaller screen variant that will likely cost a bit less. So I know a lot of Japanese people love Sony phones. You might be surprised you go to Japan and see a lot of people using phones that are absolutely not iPhones. It's just a variety of manufacturers. In finance news today, LegalZoom. LegalZoom shares jumped 35% in market debut. CEO sees further opportunity in online legal service. So congratulations for them getting a launch price of 37.85 cents a share. And the banks and stuff all got it for $28. So the banks get richer. The individual investor who never gets in on these deals on the IPO price gets stuck at $35.18. So they got a market cap of $7.35 billion. Any of you ever use LegalZoom? I'd love to hear from you if you have and your experience with that. So I was waiting for this. There's a new app out called Getter, Gettr. Does that mean get her done? Gettr will be the newest MAGA venture in this space. It's being led by former President Trump's former spokesperson, Jason Miller. It's a new social media platform. So the debut immediately ran into confusion, but it was the former president's long-promised bid offers legions of followers their own social media haven, or merely the next attempt to build a MAGA alternative to the other platforms. And the site called Getter advertises mission statement is fighting cancel culture, promoting common sense, defending free speech, challenging social media and monopolies, and creating a true marketplace of ideas. The current app is in beta and will be launched on Independence Day at 10 a.m. So the president's involvement with the project is unclear. So we'll see. So that means probably he's hoping he will, I'm sure. So, of course, did you guys know that Trump shut down his blog where he was putting out tweet-like posts? They know that they shut that down. It's telling you something there, isn't it? Google may soon launch an Apple-like medical records app for Android. The app won't replace the existing Google Fit app. The app will let you easily manage your medical records. You'll also be able to share them with your friends and family. What do I do? I've got about 500 pages of medical records from when I was in the Navy. It's basically my whole health records in a bag. I probably should scan that. That's probably a good idea at some point to scan that. But where would I? How do these apps even work in getting information put into them if you want to? The Google Health app will, quote unquote, give you a unified view of your health with information from doctor's visits, labs, and more. So doesn't you have to have a participating provider? How does it link into your stuff? That's what I want to know. Connect your records. Get easy access to your most important medical records. Okay. How do you do that? I'm still confused. All my records are with the VA or with the Tripoli Armor Medical Center. I don't think they're going to let those records out into an app. So therein lies the question. Robert, thanks for also pointing out there's also the Samsung Sky Switchblade flying car. It's SamsungSky.com. Very cool for providing that live here with me. Appreciate it, Richard, for calling that out. It's most appreciated. I love it. Love it when we get input from the audience like this. So what are the 7 best free Microsoft Office alternatives for the Mac? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've used a lot of them. The one that's closest is Google Doc. Really. The Google Suite is what they officially call it. My team uses this about 95% of the time. Of course, LibreOffice, we've all heard of that one before. That's a replacement for Microsoft for those of you that are on Mac. iWork Suite, I've never heard of that one, to be honest with you. What else? Edit Office document in Dropbox, so that's interesting. And ditch PowerPoint for better online tools. Well, anyway, there's a bunch of them here that they're offering. I'm going to be kind of frank. I'm not a fan of the Mac's tools for docs or for spreadsheets or for presentations. I'm not all that impressed. Google Docs does a pretty good job for just about everything I need. There's a few times it doesn't, but for the most part, it's pretty much what I need. How many of you know about Mint Mobile? Well, I'm not a baseball fan, but they're having what's called the Bobby Bonilla Day. This promotion offers 25 years of service for $2,500. Now, let's kind of be frank. Is Mint going to be around in 25 years? With this ever-changing landscape, they could be gone in 3 or 4 or 5. Not saying that's the case, but who's going to take the risk of shelling out $2,500 for 25 years of service? Well, who knew Ryan Reynolds and his wireless company were such big baseball fans? The new offer celebrates Bobby Bonilla Day, the internet holiday when New York Mets and baseball fans mark the date each year when the team pays retired outfielder Bobby Bonilla $1.19 million. Oh, that's interesting. That's his retirement pay? That's pretty cool. Aptly called the Bobby Bonilla plan, the carrier's offering new customers 4 gigs per month of the high-speed 5G, 4G LTE data. Wow, that's generous. For what amounts to $100 per year for 25 years. The carrier normally charges $15 per month for the 4-gig plan, and this promotion would knock it down to equivalent of $8.33 a month, albeit with a very long commitment. You have to pay the $2,500 up front. This is just a complete joke. No one is going to pay for 25 years of mobile service. He notes the absurdity of the quirk And that company is actually offering this 25-year plan. We don't have a 25-year plan, so people normally pay every year, and then they give them the opportunity to choose what level they want. So it sort of puts a smile on my face now that I'm saying it out loud. Yep, it's just a PR stunt that I fell for. Maine's new facial recognition law bans the tech in schools and limits police use. Supporters say it's the toughest set of statewide regulators on facial recognition in the United States. This statewide bill regulating the use of facial recognition technology in Maine was enacted Thursday after passing unanimously in both chambers of the state's legislature. Wow. Maine's new facial recognition law strictly regulates how law enforcement agencies can employ the technology for their investigations in the state, and it prohibits the tech outright in public schools and in many areas of government, including for surveillance purposes. First introduced in April, the bill was brokered as a compromise between its sponsors in the state legislature and representatives of the ACLU of Maine, the Maine State Police, and the Maine Department of Public Safety. Proponents of the bill touted it as the toughest set of statewide regulations. So there's no other federal laws on facial recognition, and they say this is a huge victory for privacy rights and civil liberties. So link will be up in the show notes. Good on you, Maine. Let's have some other states follow along. Very curiously, and I'm going to read this headline to you so that those of you listening get it. Here's the twist. Amazon adds new corporate values as Jeff Bezos prepares to depart. The company's leadership principles get new additions regarding being a good employer and embracing corporate responsibility. I know some of you are rolling your eyeballs. Some of you that work for Amazon. Some of you say that they're the worst employer ever. But they have updated its list of 14 principles, an internally revealed document adding values that speak to controversies that have dodged Amazon, and it continues, and it's, oh my God, let me say that again. On Thursday, the e-commerce giant updated its list of 14 principles, an internally revered document adding values that speak to the controversies that have dogged Amazon as it comes to dominate multiple sectors of the tech industry. The new values: strive to be Earth's best employer. Now that is a whopper. Another one is success and scale bring broad responsibility. That sounds like a Google term. And this comes as Amazon's treatment as warehouse workers, partner retailers, and environment attracts scrutiny from regulators. The addition of the new principles reported earlier by Bloomberg. So interesting, they're adding these as Jeff Bezos is leaving. All right, do you need a new laptop? Do you need a great laptop? Do you need the best laptop? Well, how about a Chromebook? Well, they made the list. But number one, guess what the number one laptop right now being touted by Android Central is? It's the Dell XPS 13, the laptop I absolutely love. Of course, I've got an older generation of one. Acer Chromebook, surprisingly, HP Spectre, MacBook Air, Lenovo Chromebook, Razer Book, Surface. I see a lot of loggers using Razer laptops. Acer Swift, Asus ZenBook, Lenovo ThinkPad. So there's 10 in the list. Actually 12. Razer Blade 15 and the Lenovo Chromebook Duet. So link will be up in the show notes. And these kind of range from about $900 close to $2,000 in price. So I have the link up for you if you're looking for one. You can't go wrong if you're a Windows person with that Dell laptop. Apple's iOS 15 beta is here, but watch out for the bugs. You can download it, but your iPhone may face problems with, so be careful. You may have issues. It's a live beta, but you have been warned. As always, we never recommend downloading a beta version of any software on your primary device due to bugs. This should be something everyone should follow unless you are a true guinea pig and you want to be experimental. You can restore to iPhone 14, to iOS 14 if you need to, but the beta iOS 15 is on the street. I did watch this on replay. SpaceX rocket hauls 88 small rockets into polar orbit. Pretty cool launch because they were able to bring the first stage back to Cape Canaveral and land it So those of you who were in Florida, specifically the east coast of Florida, you may have saw this rocket yesterday. It went right down the coast as it was heading towards a polar orbit. And that was pretty amazing. It really, really was. Now, SpaceX held the rocket on the ground for 35 minutes waiting for an opening in the weather. Conditions were go at 3:31, and they launched it. Now, with the 88 satellites, they took up 2 Starlink antennas. But they had a whole bunch of, little mini ones. So it's kind of fun to watch them pop off. So is this a sign of the times? Pinterest is banning weight loss ads due to eating disorder concerns. It changes policy with guidance from the National Eating Disorders Association. It's going to prohibit all ads with weight loss language and imagery. Pinterest is the place people come for inspiration to create life they love. The blog post reads, "It's where everyone belongs, regardless of body shape or size." I'm a little bit round, although I am losing weight. We're empowering pinners. Is that what they call Pinterest pinners to plan for summer and beyond without weight loss ads so they can focus on what matters most. So if you're a weight loss company, you're not going to target anybody on Pinterest. So, those Samsung Galaxy watches we were talking about, well, they've leaked. The pictures of them have leaked. And I'll be honest with you, boring. They just look like a watch. Well, maybe some of you want that. I don't know. You can take a look at them. They're available via the show notes at geeknewscentral.com. NBC News. I think this is the first article Kirk has ever found from NBC News. But an extreme white dwarf sets cosmic records for small size, huge mass. Only two other types of objects, black holes and neutron stars, are more compact than white dwarfs. So this goes in to talk about a specific white dwarf, ZTF J1901 plus 1458, was born. Also, the way it was born was also unusual. Apparently, is the product of a binary star system. So it's located in our nearby Milky Way, about 130 light years from Earth, or 5.9 trillion miles. So anyway, link will be up in the show notes on that. Amazon plans to build delivery robot tech in Finland. Oh, yeah. 24 engineers will be based at the Amazon Scout Development Center in Helsinki. Initially, the company said, adding they will be focused on research and development. The launch of the new development center in Helsinki comes half a year after Amazon reportedly acquired local 3D modeling firm Umbra. So, yes, they want more robots delivering stuff to replace their humans. They have to pay robots. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, has released a new ransomware self-assessment security audit tool. This is interesting. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security has released this, what is called the RRA, for organizations that want to understand better how well they are equipped to defend against and recover from ransomware attacks targeting their information technology, operating technology, or industry control systems. The CSET module was tailored RRA to assess the varying levels of ransomware threat readiness to be helpful to all organizations regardless of their cybersecurity maturity. So probably a very significant question and answer thing. The self-assessment tool, you have to first install CSET, and then it walks through the instructions on how to do this. So I guess it's free. So your taxpayer dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. If you work in a company and they have got concerns, turn them on to this. Robinhood, who has been loved and hated at the same time, has 18 million accounts with $80 billion in assets after rapid growth. Assets under custody, again, $80 billion from $19.2 billion last March. The company says it plans to trade under the symbol HOOD on the NASDAQ. And so we'll see. Unlike many recent IPOs, Robinhood was profitable last year, generating a net income of $7.45 million, a net revenue of $959 million. So, however, the brokerage costs of $1.4 billion in the first quarter of 2021, tied to emergency fundraising related losses during January's GameStop trading mania, the company generated $522 million in revenue in the first quarter, up 309% from the $128 million earned in the first quarter of 2020. So they want to raise $100 million in their public debut. Twitter is considering new features for tweeting only to friends under different personas and more. And Twitter has a history of sharing feature and design ideas. It's considered at a very early stage of developments. This month it showed off concepts around a potential unmentioned feature that would let users untag themselves from other tweets. Today, the company is sharing a few more of its morsels. Its design explorations would allow users to better control who see their tweets and who ends up in their replies. The new concept includes a way to tweet only to a group of trusted friends, new prompts that would ask people to reconsider the language they're using when posting a reply, and the personas feature that would allow you to tweet based on your different contexts, like tweets about your work life, your hobbies and interests, and so on. That's one thing about my Twitter account. It's kind of like this intermix of show, personal, life. So we'll see what Twitter does. Although I do have a couple of Twitter accounts. I haven't used them all. Google adds support for virtual COVID-19 vaccine cards on Android devices. How does that get in there? How does your vaccine card get into this system? You scan it? They verify it? How does that work? Is it verified? Would anybody want to do this? In many countries right now, they have COVID vaccine apps so that you can't even get into a restaurant unless you've had a vaccine. Do you think that would fly here in America? T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon have taken steps to reduce spoofed scam calls. They've all implemented the FCC stir-shaken protocol that verifies a caller's true number. So all three major U.S. carriers have met the deadline to implement the FCC's new anti-spoofing protocol designed to protect users from scam callers. Both Verizon and T-Mobile announced yesterday that all calls originating on their network are 100% compliant with the FCC's stir-shaken technology designed to show a caller's true phone number. AT&T, meanwhile, confirmed that it's also in compliance with the new rules, and they'd set a deadline of June 30th. For now, smaller carriers have until June 30th, 2023, unless the FCC decides to shorten the time span, something that's currently under consideration. So if you want to know what Shake and Stern does, I'll have the link in the show notes for you to read up on that. Those of you that have older Macs, Apple's made OS X Lion and Mountain Lion free for download. So just be aware of that. If you have an older Mac computer compatible with iMacs from 2000 to 2010, MacBooks from late 2008, or newer MacBook Pros from mid-late 2007, MacBook Airs from late 2008, and newer Mac Mini from early 2009, or newer Mac Pro from early 2008, or newer Xserve from 2009 or newer. So you don't have to pay for it no more. You have to pay the $20 to get it. You get it for free. The EU's added as well. The EU's vaccine passport and what it means for travel. It's a way for citizens across the EU to prove they've been vaccinated, recently had a negative PCR test, and recently recovered from COVID-19. It's available and recognized by all 27 EU member states, plus Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, and Liechtenstein. Sorry if I destroyed that. It's free, and all EU citizens, as well as non-EU national legally staying or living in the member state with the right to travel to other member states, can download it or obtain a paper copy. Some countries have already been using a certificate on a voluntary basis, but it was officially introduced July 1st with a 6-week phase-in. Why is it needed? They're saying it's not a travel document. You're going to still need your passport. But anyone holding a certificate should in principle be exempted from testing or quarantine when crossing an international border. Okay, as long as you travel in the EU. What happens when you go to Thailand? Don't think that's going to work. Social network giants pledge to tackle abuse of women online. This is an article over at theguardian.com. Facebook, Google, Twitter, and TikTok have committed to overhaul their platform's moderation systems. So the announcement comes in the middle of a global forum for gender equality convened by the UN Women in Paris. It is supported by an open letter signed by former heads of state and global leaders such as Michelle Bachelet, Graka Michelle, and celebrities including Anna Lennox, Ashley Judd, Gemma Chan, Maisie Williams, which calls on the companies to fully implement the commitments. More than a third of women worldwide have experienced abuse online, rising to almost half for younger women, according to a 2021 study from the Economist Intelligence Unit. So there's a whole list of steps that they are going to take to, and it's true, a lot of women get abused on TikTok, Facebook, but videos. There's a lot of nasty people out there. And finally tonight, the Windows 11 rollout, Microsoft's most botched announcement ever, according to Computer World. The big reveal for Microsoft's new operating system wasn't so big and revealed very little. And what it did reveal was often wrong. So what gives? Wow. They spent $300 million. Oh, I don't need to sign up for your newsletter. Total marketing launch price, $300 million. Did we really hear what they did? I don't think so. It just had a few pictures. That's it. Think back to Windows 95 when Microsoft paid the Rolling Stone $3 million to use Start Me Up as the operating system theme song, and how they draped a 300-foot Windows banner over Toronto's CN Tower and lit up the entire state building in red, yellow, and green, the company's colors. At least until Windows 11 arrived, that is, Microsoft's big reveal for the new operating system on June 24th wasn't so big. Didn't even talk about what kind of hardware you need because they tell you got to wait till next year. Microsoft put together a variety of materials, depending on what hardware was required, but really not much real deep documentation. They didn't show off a lot of images. They didn't talk about compatibility. It just goes on. And Computer World just smashes them here. So is it because of the pandemic? They're kind of in a disarray. Did they have their act together? Maybe they're not so worried about Office Windows? I don't know. What say you? All right, I'm going to get out of here. A little late getting the show started. A little short on show content because it's close to the holiday. No show on Monday because of the 4th of July observed holiday. So will be no show Monday the 5th. Be back with you next Thursday. It seems like I've been missing a few shows here and there, but it's life. I hope you guys are okay with it. The Insider Podcast is still coming. I promise that. It's still coming. And maybe by Christmas. I don't know. But thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thank you for those of you insiders that are continuing to support the show. I do appreciate it. And again, don't forget to vote in the People's Choice Podcast Awards at podcastawards.com. It's our 16th year. You guys have been along for the whole ride on that. You guys know more about it than anybody, at least those of you that have been here from the beginning. So how's everybody doing? Just, just generally, is life getting back to normal? Movie theaters are open. You can go to a movie. You can walk around without a mask. It's almost feels like it's normal. How long is it going to last? I don't even want to try to guess. But it's nice. And hopefully Rona and its variants will stop doing damage over time. But the rest of the country, the rest of the world is still suffering. There's countries still in lockdown. Look at us. Look at Australia. Oh, my God. They're captives in their own country. At least if you live here in the United States, you can go places. The Caribbean is open for business. Alaska is open for business. Hawaii is open for business. The 48 lower states are open for business. So I hope you enjoy a little vacation time. I hope you enjoy your 4th of July. I hope you have a few cold ones. Be safe. And here's just one last thing before I leave. Fireworks injure more children every year than adults. So watch your kids playing around the fireworks, okay? Have a good time, but make sure that someone's semi-sober to observe sparkler usage and all the other things that kids do. We don't need anybody going to the emergency room. So be safe, okay? And have a happy 4th for those of you in the United States. The rest of you, we'll see you back here on Thursday next week. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Everyone take care. It's been my pleasure bringing the show to you tonight. Good night. Have a good one. Bye-bye.